What's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy Fussa King. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Now, obviously, this isn't, where I'm normally at. Uh, some of you may know, guys could probably hear it in my tone, um, that my grandmother, she's terminally ill. So I don't mind sharing this with you all. Um, she has Alzheimer's, and she's, I won't say she's losing her battle, but she's transitioning. And the beautiful thing about life is you go through a range of emotions when you first get it, like get the news, like, hey, you need to get here. So I had to jump on a plane. My mom's on the way down. She actually just touched down. So I had to jump on a plane, get here. I was able to go straight to the home, and she's fighting, and it's a good fight. And seeing her smile, trying to push through. When hospice kind of, for those of you who may have had a family member lose a battle, and it's not a battle loss, it's just your flesh. I'm a big, firm believer in Christ and God. So this is all flesh. This is all fleeting. Everything that we have will flee at some point, but our spirit. And so as I see her push and smile, I'm like, well, I know how strong you are. Just sat with her, prayed with her, held her, and going back to again tonight and then tomorrow. We'll go every day this week. But that's why I'm out here, and it's actually been good, like to see her, and like I wouldn't even say get closure, but it's just good to see her. So I'm out here, and it helps me to talk about football, kind of take your mind off stuff you read, and so it does help me to talk about football because football is what I love. Obviously I love music, y'all know that, but I love ball, and so just keep me in y'all prayers, man, as I will pray for y'all. Any stories y'all have had on Alzheimer's or family member with Alzheimer's or just any type of illness, man, you want to share it in the comment section, let me know. The Cowboys defensive coordinator position. Dan Quinn is now a Washington Commander, and I first want to say what I'm not gonna do is trash Dan Quinn. Now, has he had moments where it just seems like he's married to who he is and he's gonna run the same stuff all game and maybe not heat teams up and not, be multiple and do certain things? Yes. Nobody's doubting that. But his defense and his scheme and who he was able to get the Cowboys playing good football again. It was he was able to draft a certain way. Him, Will McClay, they were able to draft a certain way, and they were able to have this team playing formidable. It just kind of sucks that in big games, it did feel like at times the Cowboys really had no answer, or they just defensively, in the offense too, they're not to blame, but defensively, I would say, especially when you're playing against Shanahan's teams or a scheme that was from that Shanahan tree, it just felt like you were just left guessing offensively. Defensively, like answers, and so that happened this playoff cycle. I wouldn't say it was as bad in the playoff game last year, but this year for sure. Obviously, the 49ers game this year, the Bills game I can think of, and then the Packers game they were just disasters. I actually thought that he did coach the Miami game pretty well. I thought Dan Quinn did a good job. The Luke Schoonmaker fumble didn't help, but not the Luke, excuse me, not the Luke Schoonmaker fumble, the fullback, not the tight end who hasn't produced, not a second round tight end, but the fullback. His fumble didn't help that game, but I thought that you were pretty much you could have won that game. But this isn't a revisionist history thing. It's a Dan did his job as a Cowboys coach. He got back on the map, and he deserves to be a head coach in the NFL. Let's not do that. Let's not hold him accountable for one game because that's just not fair. So he deserves to be a coach in the NFL. He's going to go to Washington. He'll have a lot of picks. He'll be able to get a quarterback, and hopefully he brings in an offensive coordinator who can, help him have success in Washington. That being said, the Cowboys have to figure out something, and they need to figure it out fast. Here's what I want people to keep in mind when it comes to the defensive coordinator search. The Dallas Cowboys can't waste time. Let me not say waste time. They have to have a proven guy. Uh, Mike McCarthy doesn't have time. And like I said, it was starting to feel like Dan Quinn was going to be back as the coach. He's not, but that doesn't mean that you could just, hire, the equipment manager. You can't. They need to find a guy who is ready. That leads me to my top three candidates. People aren't going to like this, but it would be Brandon Staley, it would be Ron Rivera, or it would be Mike Vrabel. And if I'm Jerry, I'm throwing a bag at these three guys because Brandon Staley put together some nice defenses when he was with the Rams. Um, Ron Rivera, for me, I think that he was one of the better defensive coordinators, especially when his defenses were in Carolina. Now people say, well, those are Sean McDermott's defenses, but he's a defensive guy. He does a great job of calling things out of base. Now he did let Jack Del Rio mess his scheme up, but I never thought that Jack Del Rio was a good coach to begin with. So shame on you, Rivera. But I do think that Rivera, it was impossible for him to run that team, and he did it for a long time in Washington. But it was impossible to run that team with that ownership. I think that if he's in Dallas working with Will McClay, I think things could be better for Ron Rivera. Now, you guys may feel how you feel, but that's just me. That's my opinion. And then obviously Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, if you want a physical team that's going to stop the run, that's going to do things the right way, I think you hire Mike Vrabel. And if things don't work out with Mike McCarthy, I think he's your next head coach. That's just how I'm thinking. Who do you guys think will possibly be a good fit as a defensive coordinator in the Dallas Cowboys? Again, this isn't a knock on Dan Quinn, but I think that it was time. Both are still good. The Cowboys defense still has a great personnel. It's an attractive job, and I think that it was time for Dan Quinn for them to part ways. So I think it was good on good in that aspect of things. No Senior Bowl notes for me. Lad McConkey still look good. James Thrash still look good. I got to catch up on a few more of the practices. I will say my only breaking news from the Senior Bowl is that the quarterback play has really been down. I'll do my recap of the guys who helped themselves throughout the whole process, but the quarterback play was just down. I don't think that Bo Nix looked comfortable from under center, and he's fumbling snaps. Balls were behind him. I didn't like the way that Bo Nix played. He made a few throws, but too many times I'm just seeing balls not being put on the money. I think that Michael Penix, it looks okay, but he also looks small back there. Like he looks really small. And to be honest with you, the most impressive quarterback that I saw as far as his feet, his pop on the ball, the anticipation was Spencer Rattler. I thought that Spencer Rattler helped himself at the Senior Bowl, and I think that he looked the most comfortable. One of the things that he said was, and he's true, he was right about it. He's played in like four different systems. That's real. And so I think that, and you could say that about Bo Nix, but the ball just didn't pop off of Bo Nix's hands like it was supposed to. So I would be out on Bo Nix if I was a team looking for a quarterback. Rattler really helped himself. So that was a lot to touch on, but you guys know I'm gonna work for you all, man, because we the nation, man. Like you guys rock with me, I'm gonna rock with y'all. So who do you guys want to be the next defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know. Senior Bowl recap coming at you guys either tomorrow or Saturday after the game. I'll probably do it Saturday after the game just so I can get hit all the notes and yeah. This is gonna be a fun off season. Apparently, an all in off season. All right, peace.